Hello! Hello, my beautifully abundant dreamers. Kamusta kayo? Welcome to Living Life in Beautiful Abundance. Sa episode natin today, we will meet a woman whose passion and purpose have transformed countless lives, especially those of children who see and experience the world a little differently. She is globally licensed special education teacher and behavior analyst. The heart behind Rainbows and Butterflies Learning and Therapy Center. The fierce advocate for children with autism. Kilalanin natin siya. Watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome the beautiful and the brilliant Annabelle Ceazar. Ma'am, welcome to Living Life in Beautiful Abundance. And I'm very honored and of course very grateful na nag-yes ka sa aming invitation. Kamusta?
Well, life is still the same, still busy, and everything is doing fine.
Miss Pe, you've created such an inspiring impact, no, in the world of special education. But before that, we will talk about your work. Can you take us back to your childhood? What was young Fe Annabelle like?
Okay.
And of course, did you already have that nurturing nature even then?
Okay, I love that question. So actually, like I really had a very happy childhood. So I'm just a little bit of a background. So I'm fourth among the girl sibling. So I'm the youngest among the girl sibling, and then I have another youngest brother. So lima kami, and then growing up, I was really boyish. So I wasn't really, like they thought like I'm gonna grow like a boy. Yun. And then most of my friends, I was with the male. So I really had a lot of boyfriends
Okay.
back then. Yeah.
Pareha tayo doon.
Yes. So in terms of my family, like they really raised us really well. And then they just let us, grow. And then yeah, there's not much of a demand nung bata except only for education.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so,
the one.
nagtapos ka ng iyong education. Saang school?
So I graduated at first, like it was like a really long story because my history really, the background is I was supposed to be a doctor.
Yes.
Yes. And then I went to Ateneo, and then I was there
Ateneo de Davao.
University.
Okay.
And then what happened is I was very immature back then. So instead of me really focusing on my prep course, I didn't really pay much attention. So what nangyari is I shifted.
Okay.
So nung nag-shift na, then it wasn't still really my decision. It was my siblings' decision because I don't know, like, wala. I was very immature. All I wanted is just for me to finish. That's it.
So, ano yung parang first in mind mo na when I go to college, I want to be, like, gusto mo na bang maging psychologist? Sabi mo nga, you want to be a doctor first, right?
Not
So,
actually.
ano yung pinasukan mo? Yung first na course mo?
BS Biology.
BS Biology.
Yes, Ma'am
Okay.
Badith. So BS Biology, and then it wasn't really my choice. It was my mom's choice.
Okay.
So forced. So then, yun nga, I didn't pay attention. So wala, I didn't
So,
focus.
ilang years ka nag-college?
Almost 3 years for that BS Biology, and then instead of 4, it took me 5 years to finish.
Okay.
Yes.
So, paano mo naisip na instead of this BS Biology course, parang gusto ko na lang mag-psychology?
Nothing talaga, ma'am. Like, It
So,
was
ibig
still my
sabihin,
sister's
when you
decision.
shifted from BS Biology to psychology, hindi pa rin yun ang decision mo. Hindi pa rin yun ang
No.
choice mo.
No, because again, like I was very immature. It was my sisters who
Okay.
chose it for me. I remember back then, like, you know, like in the guidance counselor, because they will give you an interview, right? So it wasn't me, like I didn't go there. So it was my sisters who were interviewed. But because the guidance counselor saw na I was very, really immature, so yeah, so I went into psychology, and then later on, I think like almost end of the year na sa school year, for the graduation. So I realized na, okay, maganda pala yung psychology. So that really made me, you know, change my mind. And then like especially having like, you know, the abnormal psychology, that was really the, I mean like the
So, when was
best
the
course.
time na parang na-embrace mo, nagustuhan mo na I love this course, I really want to pursue this. So, when mo na-realize yon?
Nung nagkaroon na kami ng practicum, because like that
Oh.
practicum, I was like, I was assigned at, you know, the mental hospital, like, I don't know if that's how they call it here now. So I was assigned there. So yun na-met ko yung mga patients, even different doctors.
Okay.
And then I was conducting psychological tests. And then I said, okay, parang maganda siya. Plus the abnormal psychology, it was very challenging to me. Like, I find it very interesting. So then after that, I graduated with, you know, psychology, and then I pursued my master's.
Sabi mo nga, diba, parang kung titignan mo, you embrace your course or you embrace this mission because through that experience during sa practicum mo, parang mas marami palang nangangailangan ng parang may problema yung mental health,
True.
right? Paano mo nasabi sa sarili mo, Ma'am Fe, na I will take this as a mission?
After that, like for the master's, so I taught in one of the colleges here in Davao, and then nagkaroon ako ng offer sa US. So I took that as an opportunity. So I was like given the work as a special education teacher. So yun, I took it. I took advantage of the offer, and then from there, nakita ko kasi I was assigned as the self-contained, like
Okay.
special education teacher. Then I had my paraprofessionals, like, you know, the assistant teachers in Virginia. And then, like, say for example, in a classroom, so I had like the maximum, I think is 10. And then with different disabilities kasi yung mga bata. So meron mga cerebral palsy, autism,
Yes.
Down syndrome. So that really made me, you know, thought about like, okay, I think this is different. Like it's very
Okay.
nice. It's a good one.
Ganito, doon ako nagkaroon ng interest, Ma'am Fe, no? Kasi diba sabi nga nila, when you're into the mission, pag nasa mission ka, at first, akala mo, hindi yun
Yeah.
ang gusto mo. Kaya nga, now we're talking about you, present, you're doing this job as a mission. It hindi lang siya trabaho, right?
No.
Hindi lang siya trabaho. So, but before that, sabi mo sa akin kanina na you took the opportunity. So, ibig sabihin, ma'am, it entails na I will take this because parang I can gain money from this.
That's true.
Yun ang first na,
Yeah.
yun ang first na insight mo. Why do you accept this kind of opportunity? Tama po ba ako?
Yes, and then aside from that, to Ma'am Badith, is that, like, to me, I really would want, because it changes, like it shifted, like, you know, like being an
Yeah.
immature, and then nagkaroon ako ng different perspective. So yun nga, aside from that, financially, it will really make you more stable. Aside from that is, like, I know that I will be trained. 100% sure. Like, the training there would be really different.
Yung learnings
Yes,
na
the
makuha
learnings,
mo.
the training, everything. So I said, okay, I want to take that opportunity, and then we'll see. So what happened is, yun nga, matagal rin ako nagstay sa
Na-love mo na
Virginia.
siya.
Yes, and then one of the job was like I took my kids like out there, nagjo-join sila ng mga competition for special education, para Olympics, and then even yung sa mga pre-employment, like I brought them there. So it was me like who was looking for a job for them, so which is really good. And then after that, I said, okay, I shifted from the US. I went to Canada. So, nung nandun ako sa Canada, there, I was really given that opportunity to really work with children with autism.
Ladies and gentlemen, no, alam mo, sabi nga ni Ma'am kanina na, ano siya, yung parang immature. When she accepted that being a psychology, parang wala pa sa mind mo
No.
yon. Kasi nga immature siya. So, you took the opportunity and that opportunity turns into passion, right?
Yes.
And that passion turns into mission.
Perfect. Yes.
And there is heart in it.
Yes.
And that is why this is what we call living life in beautiful abundance, because you're not living just for yourself na ngayon.
That's true.
Before, when you enter, when you say yes to this, it's you alone, right?
Yes.
Now you're carrying the mission of the children, the differently abled, or what you call this, special, no? Special children, wherein may puso na.
Yes.
Diba? So, building the therapy centers is not easy. Alam natin yan, ma'am, no? What were some of the biggest challenges in establishing rainbows and butterflies? And how did you overcome them? Alam natin, hindi madali yun.
You're so right. Like, it was really a lot. Ang dami talaga. And then, there's so much for me to consider. But then, the reason why I really put this up, it's because, like, that passion, it's also like, I did consult the Lord with that. Kasi, kumbaga, yes, no, I'm not sure. Kaya lang, that passion na gusto ko talaga magkaroon ng therapy center and really to help, you know, the Filipino kids, like the Filipino community, that's what I really wanted to do. Hindi kasi siya naaalis sa heart ko. So, there's so many attempts, even before na special or regular school lang, hindi siya naaalis. And then I said, okay, here comes the opportunity, and then okay, the Lord told me, you can do that. So that's the reason why na I put it up.
Ma'am, meron akong tanong,
Yes.
Ma'am Feno. Kasi diba, ako kasi parang I am really attached to children.
Yes.
Pag may nakikita kong bata, not only for the homeless, but even with sabi mga special child, no, special children, wala pa siyang impact sa'yo when you go home, na parang you feel so tired, na parang hala, nako, ano ba yung nangyari kanina na ganito, though it's rewarding,
Yeah.
right? Pero hindi ka ba naka-feel ng moment na when you go back, when you go home, na parang you're so tired, na parang kabigat naman, parang ang kawawa naman yung mga bata kasi everyday yun ang nakikita mo.
Yes.
So, how do you cope with that?
Well, again, you're right. So, it's a confirmation. It's a validation. It's not easy, again. Exhaustion is there.
Yes.
Burnt out is there. But then again, every time that hits me na the thought of, okay, the families, kailangan nila ng support, they need help. The children, they do need help. So that really brings me joy. Kumbaga, nare-recharge. And then my mind, again, it's kicking, okay, this is gonna be my plan tomorrow. Ito yung programs na gagawin ko. Again, because I kept on thinking about programs, kung ano yung mga different programs na I can still offer to the families. Honestly, Ma'am Badith, like, it's not because, like, you know, I'm running a center or it's purely for business. I am going, or the center is going beyond and over and beyond. Kumbaga, if the price is only for, it's only an example, like say 100, we're going beyond that amount. I mean, I don't see anymore like how much would I gain. No, because if you can only see the families, like especially the children, it's different. Like hearing their stories, it will really change you.
Yeah, kasi parang kung ako, you will be emotionally
Yes.
battered. Kasi nga, you're not just dealing with the children, you will also deal with the emotion of the parents, especially
Yes.
the mother, right? So, how will you comfort the parents, the mother, na may ganito na ano? So, dalawa siya,
Yes.
diba? Miss Pe, how do you
Yes.
deal with yung mga bata na nagda-tantrums, yung
Okay.
parang to the extent that they'll be hurting themselves, di ba? So how do you deal with that? And you gonna see the parents crying kasi sila
Yes.
mismo they cannot just hindi nila matame yung kanilang anak, hindi nila makontrol. So para kang si Wonder Woman na bigla na lang magsabi na, or para kang si Darna to the rescue all
Bigla,
the time.
bato.
Yeah, di ba? How do you handle that?
So, I have teachers, so they are trained, and I just would want to I just would want to let everyone know that these teachers are all certified abroad,
Okay.
and then they're all like licensed teachers. So, I supervise them. Talagang undergoing a training, and then at the same time, with your question na, let's say, we call that a self-injurious behavior. Some of them, nagkakaroon talaga ng bruises, yes, even biting. Not only for me, they're also aggressive towards other people. Like for the teachers, they are aggressive towards me. But you have to accept it. That's how it is. That's part of the, that's part of your role. So, with that, so meron kasi akong program na ginagawa, ma'am. So, whatever the concerns of the parents, dun ko kasi siya talaga binibase. And there's
Okay.
also like, with the observation, direct observation. So, I really have to think about it, okay, ano ba yung dapat gawin? And then, I have to basically, everything in my therapy or in applied behavior analysis, it's really, it's evidence-based. So, we are not giving any therapeutic na mga strategies na is not evidence-based. It's not. So, I am always, like reading journals, paano gawin, or what are the other strategies to do. And then, it's really challenging because, again, going back to, let's say, for example, here's this child, like having like this big aggression.
Okay.
Self-hitting, like, hitting the head on the wall.
Yeah.
Ganun. So, ang dami kasing considerations. Let's say, for example, how about if the child cannot really speak? Wala siyang communication. So that might be the cause of why there's like a frustration and nagkakaroon ng self-hitting. So I really have to observe, take notes, and so on. And then, dun ko na siya pinapasukan kung paano ba yung magiging intervention. And then at the same time, for the parents, as much as possible, pag nagkaroon ng mga ganun, like even if not like, big behavior, I always see to it na I sit down with them, and then I also ask them, like, kung meron silang availability as much as possible, to join us. Para kung ano yung ginagawa namin sa center, they can also apply it at home. Because it's really different, like if it's only the center who's doing all of these strategies and there's no consistency at home, then that's gonna be different story.
Okay. So, napakahirap.
It's
diba?
really
And
not
mas mahirap, ma'am,
easy.
diba, na to let the parents or the mother especially understand or yung i-educate mo din sila with regards to their special child. Kasi mas maraming mga mother na they cannot accept it.
True.
Na instead of putting their child in a special school, they want it in the normal school.
Yeah.
So how do you explain properly to the parents? Kasi sometimes talaga siya parang
You might hurt them, right?
as in,
Diba?
oo, na galing sila sa regular school, tapos advisean sila na your child is special, that they cannot just accept it, then they will go to you. So, have you ever encountered na yung mga parents na, what? You're telling us that our children are, siya, yung para special? So, who are you to tell me that? So,
That's true.
do you encounter like that?
Actually, so far, I don't have any, let's say, mga complaints. Like, I didn't have any experience like na, kumbaga, why are you doing this? Bakit ka nag-label? Like that, because I'm very careful when it comes to labels. I cannot label unless there is a diagnosis. I don't do any labeling kasi that's very hurtful to the families. So, say, for example, imam, bawa.
Especially in the gathering, mama, especially
Yes.
with your family na nakita mo na meron how do you tell the parents na to have a proper diagnosis with their children?
So, if it's only, let's say, for example, in a common ground, let's say, nandun ako sa mall, naglalakad, and then I see children a child na ganun, na I might suspect na meron. Honestly, Mama Dith, I don't approach.
Okay.
It's because, like, who am I to approach? it's not the proper quorum.
Okay.
Yes. And then also ethically, as a behavior analyst, we cannot do that. So I'm also like very careful na, of course, because let's say, for example, I'm not considering any more ethics. I'm just gonna go there and then, okay, let me see what's happening, this and that. How how are you going to handle if the parent is unable to,
Yeah.
accept now? Who are you to tell me that? Like, who are you? Like, I didn't even ask your opinion. So why? So I have to really, I'm very careful. Even if yung mga parents namin na nagre-receive ng programs or ng intervention, I really choose my words.
Okay.
Because as much as possible, I really don't want to hurt, our parents, because unang-una is, it's already, difficult for them na to deal with having
The
children
behavior.
or having a
Oo.
child na ganito. So, you just have to really, choose your words, and then at the same time, meron din naman kasi ibang mga parents na they're very accepting. Meron namang ganun. And then, I just also like address it in general, not actually to that specific, family,
yeah.
no? Because I also like offer, let's say, parent coaching. Parent coaching is for everybody. Either regular yung bata, or either merong diagnosis, or meron kang, there's already that characteristic. So, I always like offer parent coaching. So, parang naghahabol na nga rin ako sa mga parents, because I really would want them to know na, hey, kailangan natin to. You need to be equipped, because there's this one thing that I always tell the parents, like even the public. If you have a child na, let's say may diagnosis, now, it's okay kung maliit pa yung bata. Okay? Like, you can control. Let's say nagda-diaper, it's fine. You can still control. How about, lumaki na siya, 10 years old, 12, 15, they're growing. Like, especially halimbawa, lalaki. Siyempre, ikaw, parents, your age to, di ba, nagsisenior ka na rin. So, how can you cope up with this? Saan mo ilalagay yung mga bata? Lumalaki sila, hindi mo sila in-equip, then you have to equip these children. It doesn't mean to say they have autism or they have this special needs, then they cannot do a thing. That's not how it is. They can. Kayang-kaya.
Ma'am, as a behavioral analyst, ma'am, no? Kasi 'di ba noon, sa time natin, I don't know
Yes.
how old are you na ba? How young are you na ba, ma'am?
I'm already in my late 40s.
Okay, so pareha pala tayo. So sa time natin, walang ganito, no?
Yes.
Walang parang yung mga special courses like this, or even, sabihin na natin, separation of special child, mga ADHD, walang ganyan, halo-halo siya. No, ngayon, ma'am, sa edad natin ito, can you recognize na ito special, ito ba, hindi lang na-diagnose? Did you ever, kumbaga parang, meron kang parang opinion, especially sa mga taong nami-meet mo, no? Especially their character, their attitude. Makasabi ka ba na sometimes na parang, uy, hulaan ko to, special, may special may special concern nito, hindi lang siya na-diagnose nung bata pa.
Well, being in the field for over 10 years, so I'd say na yes,
Yes.
pero hindi lang, not to divulge.
Yeah,
Yun
oo.
lang, ganun lang. Kasi again, have to be really careful with
So,
that.
yung bipolar ba is different from what you, cater?
Yes, it's bipolar. That's something, it's a comorbid for autism, could be. It's more of the mental health, and then meron din kasi silang different na mga intervention when it comes to that. So, for us, hindi ko, kasi again, if I would want to do like intervention, it has to be under my capacity na, under my training. So, with regards to bipolar,
Hindi siya kasama. Okay.
iba rin kasi siya na entity.
Miss Pe, your
Yes.
story is so full of purpose and passion. So, parang believe ako sa iyo doon, no? Kasi ang hirap talaga, no? To really, kumbaga parang, alam mo yun, yung parang i-embrace mo yung mga special children, no? Na hindi ka emotionally attached sa kanila. Kasi dapat hindi ka totally emotionally attached. Dapat may professionalism din. And you are guided, 'di ba? Kasi ikaw yung nagbibigay ng learnings, ikaw yung pinaghuhugutan ng parents at ng mga bata ng sabihin na natin ng lakas, 'di ba? So hindi ka dapat affected emotionally. So I am truly grateful, Ma'am Fe, no, about your story, about hearing your story, and of course, as you continue to inspire families and children with your work. But before that, we will let go of maglighten up muna tayo, Ma'am Fe.
Sure.
So, we will do the fast talk. Are you ready?
Okay.
You are born to be ready. I know that. So, just say I'll just say the first thing, no?
Okay.
Just say the first thing that comes into your mind. Don't think too hard, diba?
Yeah,
So,
'cause medyo
just
overthinker.
yeah,
Yes.
don't, just, if I'll say this word, just think of a thing that will comes first to your mind.
Okay.
Sige. What is your comfort food after a long day?
Binignit.
Binignit. Song that always make you sing out loud.
When you love someone.
Wow. Travel for work or travel for play?
Work.
Work and play.
Yes, work and play. I love
One
that.
thing that you can leave the house without.
Cell phone.
Cell phone.
Yes.
Okay. What's your happy place?
Happy place to be with my family.
Oh, if
Yes.
you could have any superpower, what would it be?
My superpower? Well, hirap pa. Superpower then could be giving everything like not the luxury but the abundance.
Abundance.
Yes.
So, if not in education or therapy, what would you be doing right now?
Flight attendant.
Wow,
Yes.
flight attendant. Okay. Describe yourself in one word. One
word. Resourceful.
Resourceful. Rainbows or butterflies?
Butterflies and rainbows.
Okay.
Both.
Both. A word or phrase that always tell your students or kids.
That I tell them?
Yes.
Everything is all right.
Everything is all right.
Yes.
Ma'am, may question ako bago natin putulin itong
Sure.
laro natin. Bakit butterflies and rainbows?
Okay, I like your question.
Bakit butterflies and rainbows?
So, it's rainbows and butterflies, right,
Okay.
ma'am? So,
rainbows and butterflies.
Yes. So, rainbows, it's because if you can see the colors, different colors,
Yeah.
right? So, a variety of colors of rainbows. Now, ibig sabihin, it's diversity. Everybody is accepted. No
Walang left
exemption.
out.
Yeah, no
Okay.
left out. No one. And then at the same time, butterfly, it's because these kids, maliliit sila, and then at the same time, they have like these needs. So, kung meron silang needs, pag once na nasa center sila, like under our care, then, like a butterfly, like a metamorphosis.
Yeah.
So, they start from a caterpillar, and then nagkakaroon ng cocoon, yung life cycle ng butterfly. And then, by the time na they already receive the intervention, and then, they grow. And
They can have
They can
their
fly.
beautiful
Yes.
wings, no?
Yes.
So, yun pala yun. Rainbows and
butterflies.
butterflies.
Yes, it's a metamorphosis for them.
Okay, so let's go back to your beautifully abundant story, Ma'am Fe. You're so dedicated to your work, tama? So,
Yes.
how do you take care of yourself? And what keeps, kumbaga parang, how do you balance yourself? And, paano ka ba sumasaya?
Me, honestly, like, I love doing yoga.
Okay.
Yun.
That's why you're very fit.
Yes, like yan talaga yung I really enjoyed it.
Ilang anak meron ka, ma'am?
I have one.
Okay.
Yes.
Babae, lalaki?
Lalaki.
Lalaki.
Yes.
How old?
He's already 20.
Oh.
So imagine, like, he's already 20. And then, yoga, workout, and then even like dancing, those were those, and watching TV. Yan talaga. Even for the whole day, just watching TV, I'm good.
You're good.
Yes.
So ngayon hindi ka nakatuod ng TV kasi nandito ka.
Yes.
Ma'am Fe, what does living a life of beautiful abundance mean to you? Especially to someone working with special needs families every day. So how do you define living life in beautiful abundance?
Well, to me, like me living my life beautifully with abundance at the same time is I'm really able to share my passion, and then I am really able to help support the families, like especially the children. Like that really gives me a sense of fulfillment, and it's a joy.
Yun yung tanong ko
Yes,
kanina,
it's a
diba?
joy.
There's joy in your job
Yes.
because you put heart to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why you're living your life abundantly.
Yes.
No?
Especially like hearing, the testimonies of the families, and then you also see the children, like that's really something.
Diba?
Yes.
So, nakaka-touch naman nun.
Mhm.
Parang, alam mo, Ma'am Fe, ako yung bata pa talaga yung aking second.
Mhm.
Kasi 'di ba, if you have children, you can really parang hindi mo maiwasan na
Yeah.
you will compare parang the development of the first and the development of your second. So yung aking second child kasi matagal nakapagsalita, no?
Okay.
So I was really thinking of, my God, hindi kaya special child ang anak ko. And I'm really willing to accept it that time. So when I let him enter school, I really asked the teacher, "Teach, can you please observe my son if he's special?" Alam, sabi naman ng teacher niya, "No, ano lang, parang delay ba? Kasi
Yeah.
yung ano niya is matagal."
Sa speech.
O,
yeah.
sa speech niya. Pero after like ilang taon, ang bilis na ng bunganga. Parang
Yes.
tututututut. So yun, parang sabi ko sa sarili ko din talaga, Miss Fe, parang if I have a special child, it's okay with me. Diba? Parang I just have to accept it. And I
Yes.
thank God na hindi. No? So yun yung parang pinasalamatan ko
Yes.
naman sa Panginoon, Ma'am
Yeah.
Fe. So, Ma'am Fe, what is your message to the families raising children with autism? And what would you like to general public, no, to understand better, no, about autism and neurodivergent individuals? Sabi mo nga kanina, parang nahirapan ako doon, no? Kaya sabi ko special child
Special.
na lang. Oo. So, especially if there's in the mall, kasi ako, nagpa-follow ako doon kay Jasa, di ba?
Oh
si
yes. Like I also
Jasa,
like
oo.
yes.
Nagpa-follow ako doon na parang anywhere, everywhere, parang, di ba, noon kasi, hindi masyadong naintindihan ng general public yon. Di ba, parang, uy, ano yan siya? Parang, even, I have a friend kasi na may autism, yung kanyang, yung same with Jasa. Ano yung kanya, it's not just...
I think ang kay Jasa she's level 3 autism.
Oo. So,
yes.
may friend ako na gano'n na I am so really, yung parang concerned, especially to these children na how they behave in public. So, what's your message to the general public na paano ba natin dapat, ano ba dapat ang maging attitude natin towards these children? And how we also be our attitude, no, to their parents.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. So that's really, again, like a very nice question. So I just really want to give this message to first the families.
Yeah.
Like for the families, like I know it's not an easy one. Like it's not an easy journey. But then again, like we have to really respect the kids. They are uniquely built. Iba sila na, yes, iba sila. And then, of course, parents should continue to advocate for their children. So that's really one thing that I always tell the parents, like, although meron silang, let's say, diagnosis or this disability, I'll say they're autistic.
Yeah.
That doesn't define them. Yes, they are, but then they have something that they can contribute to the society and even to themselves. So there's no other way na, like to me, it's very unacceptable if there's like bullying, like in the school, like especially for those who are really neurodiverse, not even for autistic, but all those children with special needs. They cannot be bullied. That's really one thing. That's my advocacy. Medyo ano talaga ako dyan pag meron akong nakikitang ganun. So that's why also like one of the programs that I do to my children or to those families in our care is for these children to be empowered. They need to be taught how to be empowered, even for the parents. So parents, you need to have your advocacy, and then at the same time, you need to be empowered. That doesn't define you. Children are not defined that there's nothing hope for them. It's not hopeless. There's always joy, there's always hope. And then also to the general public that I also like would want to impart is that it's acceptance. Remember, even if, let's say, sinasabi na normal people, and then these are not normal people, think about it. There are those na sinasabi natin na normal kasi nagkakaroon na nga ng distinction.
Yes,
Na, look, like, what is it that they contribute to the society? Di ba? Nung merong mga cases, this and that, hindi okay. So, how can you explain that? So, why would you only like isolate the cases for these families with disabilities or children with disabilities? So, again, to the general public, it is very important that we have to accept our children, our families with different needs, with autism or with any other yung needs nila. And then, can I just give a sample, Ma'am Badit? Is that
Yes,
okay?
yes, ma'am.
So let's say, for example, last year. So for the trick or treat.
Okay.
So for that one, the purpose for that talaga is, it's not only for them to celebrate, like, you know, the trick or treating. No, that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is that for the children to be part of the society, to be part of the community. So bakit yung iba na, yung tinatawag nila na typical kids, they can participate. So how come like mga atypical kids, they cannot? Hindi ganun yun.
Dapat walang distinction.
No
so
distinction.
It should be for everybody.
Yes. And then not only that, also like I did like together with the teachers, like we really worked double for that. Like we went to the communities, like our neighboring communities, and then we did ask them if they can contribute something about candies, mga chocolates, simple as that, because the children will go. Pupunta sila. So that was the purpose of it. Like for them to be recognized, for them to be accepted. No boundaries for them.
Okay. So, that's good, no? Ma'am, last question, kasi ang aking concern talaga, no? Sabi mo nga kanina, it's not easy to raise a autism, no? Children with autism. And for the parents, it's not also easy. Pero alam natin, ma'am, we have to accept the brutal fact na
True.
it's not really easy in terms of finances, right?
Yes.
So, ang pinaka-primary concern talaga is those who are, kumbaga sabihin na natin, considered to be the poorest of the poor of the society, na they cannot just accept it because the fact na they don't have the luxury, they don't have even penny, no, to spend for these children na bigyan nila ng special attention.
Yes.
Right? So, that is why yung iba, ina-abandon.
Yes.
Oo. And I went to a place in Cebu na na-touch talaga yung heart ko, napaiyak ako kasi parang nakita ko yung mga bata na iniwanan ng kanilang parents kasi nga they cannot really provide. Even a meal, they cannot provide. So, ano pa yung special attention or ano pa yung medication ng mga batang ito na alam natin na it's very expensive. So, do you have any suggestion or sabihin na natin how can our government, especially now na it's campaign period, no?
Yes.
We have to really stood up kung ano yung ating ano yung mga hinanaing ng lalo na yung mga masa, lalo yung mga naghihirap,
Yes.
no? So what can you suggest to the politicians na at least they can really give program, no, to those parents or to those children who cannot afford na like sa inyo, pa-school sa inyo, alam natin na it's expensive. So what can you say about it?
Okay, so can I just like, I'm just gonna give 2 hints of that.
Yes.
So when it comes sa center po namin, okay, sa center is like true, medyo expensive or
Yeah,
meron talagang,
oo.
it comprises of, money, ganun. Sa amin, hindi kami nagbibigay ng ganun na at a higher rate. It's, sabi nga, okay, I think we're like foundation already.
Okay.
Kasi sa amin, hindi kami nagbibigay ng
Mahal.
mahal
Oo.
na rate. No, it's not. And then also, because I really don't want to have a distinction between the poor and well-off.
Yeah, oo.
Sa akin, no, ayoko ng ganun. So, sa center is, we have families na wala. But then, I cannot deny them of any intervention. I don't want to do that. So for me, ang ginawa namin is nagbibigay kami ng free therapy.
Okay.
So nagbigay kami ng free therapy sa kanila, and then at a certain, duration of time. And then I also like contacted my friends sa labas, and then I did ask for, a solicitation, and then like, for the donations and so on for these families. And then good enough, like I have some other friends na nagkaroon sila ng mga donation. And then those
Mga NGOs
children,
yan, ganun.
not actually, these are private families.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then, so nagbigay sila ng ng makapagsasyon ng yung mga bata. And then, I think we provided 10 children na free yung naging therapy nila. So that's really my vision, like, to continue as much as possible na ayokong magkaroon ng distinction talaga, yung may kaya and no kaya. Bakit mo i-isolate those children, families na wala, they can't afford? That's not fair. Now, for the government,
Meron ba? Marami ba tayong mga programs na ganyan in government, ma'am, as far as you?
honestly, ma'am, because we just started last year,
Yeah, oo.
because it's really a new center, we went to different NGOs already, and then we really did ask support from them. The only thing is, medyo madami yung mga requirements. I'm not
Di ba
sure.
yung non-government is still private yun, di ba? Parang ano lang siya, parang sponsored lang siya from non-government.
Yes.
What I am trying to say here, ma'am, is, do we have programs in the government, like in the government hospital? Merong government hospital that facilitates yung mga poorest of the poor na patients natin, like mental hospital also. So we cannot just associate, or we cannot just anong tawag yan? Parang hindi natin pwedeng ihalubilo yung mga autism to mental health, right? Yung mga nasa mental hospital. So, meron ba tayong program na sa government na nagbibigay ng direct help to this? Kasi marami din yung mga parents na ganito na sitwasyon na wala talaga, as in zero.
As far as I know, is on DSWD, they do help.
Okay.
So ang sa DSWD, like, because we have like families too na they get financial support from DSWD. Yun nga lang, may mga requirements na
Pero we
dapat
don't have centers, no?
I think
Government
not there
centers.
is already. I
Meron
think they
ba?
just started it like this month.
Here in Davao, do we
not
have?
this month. Like the second week of March, or no, the last week of March. I think they just started in. I'm not sure if they already started accepting families. I'm not sure. I think
Here in Davao.
Here in Davao, like I
Okay.
heard about it. So hindi ko pa siya masyado kasi na tingnan, but I guess there is already. I think they're starting it.
Actually, guys, no, yun talaga ang pinaka-primary concern natin na appeal to our politicians, our government leaders na we really have to take we have to really, what do you call this, put a special program to this, or special budget to this special children, because they also need us. Diba?
Can I give another
Yes.
is it okay? Okay. So, I just want to give like like this situation sa Canada and then here in the Philippines. So sa Canada kasi is the families, they do receive fundings. May
Okay.
mga fundings kasi because there's really an amount na binibigay ang government for those children na merong autism. Diagnosed or not diagnosed, but most probably yung may diagnosis kasi nag-build up yung support or yung financial aid na nare-receive nila.
Yeah, oo.
So, that's why, kung titingnan mo, yung sa therapy intervention is, let's say for example, yung bata is nag-start sa early intervention of 2 years old. From 2 years old, nasusundan naman yan till nag-8 na, nag-10. Why? It's because they have the capacity, the government is supporting them. Meron silang nare-receive. Unlike here, kasi, so far sa mga naririnig ko, and then, aside nga yung sa DSWD, and then maybe some other politicians na yung malalapitan mo, yung mga party list, I guess, that's what I've heard, na may mga party list din na tumutulong. So, pero kung talaga yung consistency, I don't wanna quote myself, na baka mamaya nagkamali rin ako, I'm just really hoping na, magkaroon talaga ng program for the families na merong fundings na, okay, ito, meron kang diagnosis or with no diagnosis, ito yung marireceive mo na amount. Because nakita ko kasi yung difference sa Canada at saka dito, even in the US, nakita ko yung difference. So that's why, medyo sa akin, it's very challenging talaga when it comes to finances sa mga parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and then how can they sustain the intervention?
Kaya hindi lang talaga siya mahirap mag-raise ng special children in terms of emotional, pati financial. Diba?
Yes.
Oo. So, napakahirap, ladies and gentlemen. So, I can really feel it because may mga kilala din talaga ako na if pupunta ka sa yung talaga, makita mo na, uy, dami palang special child din dito na they're not diagnosed, they don't even have medical attention, parang ganyan. So, it's really sad, but I hope na there is, may pagbabago.
There will be. There's
may
gonna be like a change. Yes. I'm positive.
Yeah.
Positive ako dyan. Yes.
Ma'am Fe, thank you very much for your beautiful heart and for being an angel to many families. What you does beyond therapy, it's love, light, and hope in action. And I salute you.
Thank you.
That.
Same here too.
Yes.
Yes, sorry, ma'am. And by the way, like today or this month is Autism Acceptance Month. So this is very timely. The interview is very timely. And then also like right now at this moment, sa SM Ecoland, like we have like the Angels Walk, and then our teachers are now participating for the Angels Walk to support, our families for.
Okay. So here in Living Life in Beautiful Abundance, we believe in celebrating people who believe with purpose. And today, we've shown us exactly that, no? And as a token of appreciation, Mom, here's my special sent to you, special flowers.
I didn't expect that one.
May it remind you of beauty you bring into the world every day.
Ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you
Ma'am,
very
final
much.
words, Ma'am Fre.
So final words, like again, like there's always hope. Don't lose hope. We're here, like the center's here, and then even like iba pang mga therapy centers. Ready to help.
Ready to help.
Yes.
Ma'am, yung Beautiful Abundance perfume ko, Ma'am, ha? That's my brand.
Okay. Can I, pwede ba siya i-open
Yeah,
na?
it's my brand. So, it's a perfume that will manifest your success. I know that you are successful already.
Wow.
But as you spray that perfume, you're really spraying positivity all day.
That's very
okay.
nice.
So,
nice.
to all our viewers, no, if today, this episode touched your heart, or spark new insight, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration. Follow me at Badit Ipanag on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube for more beautifully abundant stories. And of course, it will really give you a meaningful impact in your life as you live your life abundantly. Thank you very much. Let's continue to live, to love, and to lead in beautiful abundance.